Go.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and it's tea time with Stuart and Cynthia. Actually, she's doing the video today, and I'm going to be doing a little bit on Mark 11, 22 to 26. Mark 11, 22 to 26.
23 to 25.
No, well, okay. No, it says 26 right here. Okay. So, Mark 11, 22 to 25. Okay, so.
23.
And I want to talk about the scripture here, and we've all heard it multiple times, but I'm going to do it a little differently. And away we go. Here we go. Ready? So Jesus answered and said unto them, have faith in God, for assuredly I say to you, whosoever says to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever things ye ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you will have them. And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you of your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive your trespasses. So, we always hear about the first part, but the second part, the necessity of forgiveness, I wanted to talk about that for a couple minutes. And I'm sure my wife Cynthia can elaborate on it a little more. But we've all heard and talked to people that have cancer and all this stuff, and even doctors, regular doctors in the world, they say that bitterness and resentment literally will make you sick. Hate, stuff like that. Bitterness and resentment will make you sick. So, why is it said, and whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you of your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive you your trespasses. Obviously, forgiveness and letting go of the wrongs people have done to you, and also the wrongs that you've done to others, is very important.
What about the wrongs you've done to yourself?
Well, you also got to. I think you got to forgive yourself. I've had a real problem, and I admit this with all honesty, that I have not, in some ways, forgiven myself of opportunities that I had totally have blown. Jobs that I didn't take seriously and that I could have done very well at, but I didn't. And relationships that I should have nurtured, I just kind of, let them go. And I think I've talked to people that have had cancer, and I've heard about ministers too that they said that they were literally eaten up with bitterness and resentment. In fact, we talked to somebody recently, Cynthia and I have, and she's got a former husband, divorced and all that stuff, and they just fight like cats and dogs, and screaming and yelling at each other and all this stuff. And I don't know how a woman can be screamed and yelled at, cannot be in bitterness and resentment unless it's some kind of a supernatural gift that the Lord Jesus has given them. Because, after a while, you're going to say, I want this friggin' mother, whatever, dead. I would, if somebody treated me like that, I'd be like, I want him dead. I want him dead now. Yesterday wasn't soon enough. Now, okay, that's my flesh, but when we talk about spiritual things...
Stuart, there are some women that get like that. And the other side of the coin, though, is many times a person will they're internalize it. They'll think, okay, what have I done? Why is this person treating me this way? What have I done? So they blame themselves for the way the other person is acting. And that's not the case. Please be still. That's not the case. I know. But that's not always the case. It's not, or most of the time, many times, if the person that is doing the screaming and the yelling, that's unchristlike. No, that's not to say we're not to. Jesus
Peter
yelled.
denied he knew Christ.
Okay, well, Jesus
Peter
went.
himself denied he knew the Lord.
All right. Well,
So,
but
hey,
Jesus didn't
he's a
hold
pretty
him.
tough
Jesus
dude.
didn't hold that against him. What I'm trying to say is
he's not
more to the point of what you were talking about, Stuart. Is how can a woman handle that? How can a man handle that? Well, they can't apart from love and grace in the heart. First of all, they need to know that they're not the cause of it, and second of all, they need to say, Jesus says, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And hurt people hurt others. When we realize that the person that's hurting us is doing so because they're hurt, and the individuals that you're talking about, and I almost hate to do that because they very well may watch this or listen to it. In essence, I hope that they will.
Yeah.
That he's hurt because she doesn't show him the respect that he needs as her husband. You can say, well, she's not under that authority anymore. Well, Jesus said that God hates divorce. And the Bible says if you marry a divorced woman, you commit adultery, or a divorced man, you're committing adultery. Well, because obviously in God's eyes, they're still married. I just got that on video.
What?
You're on video, Stuart. Watch out.
I'm just yawning.
You can't yawn on camera, honey. That's not allowed.
And I'm standing.
Okay, let me go back to what I was saying.
I've got great body posture.
Stand up straight, be still, be quiet. You're on video. Anyway, so this particular couple, Stuart, he's hurt because she's not listening to him. God is using him, and will use any husband to protect his wife.
Yeah, I want.
And spiritually speaking, they're still married. That's the thing, and that's kind of a strange situation because they're divorced, and he's been remarried, and she's living in his home so that he can help take care of her while she's sick, and so that she can be near her son.
Here, let me see. Hold on. Keep going.
Again, this particular couple, I can see the hurt in him. There was something that he said, I don't think you should do that. I don't think it's safe. And she reasoned her way around it. She didn't yell and scream at him at that time, but she said, well, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I think it'll be okay.
And it was a mistake, obviously.
Well, she's still fine. Yeah, there were black eyes. She called and apologized, said, you know what, there was black eyes. It was dangerous. And my husband told me not to go with her. She wanted me to go. And I actually wanted to go. And I hadn't even prayed about going, and I believe the Lord said, just wait. Well, when my husband told me not to go, I didn't go because I knew I'm not supposed to go. And I, thank God, believe that I'm starting to understand that and trust that more and more, that God is speaking to me through my husband. Now, the thing about God speaking to wives through their husbands is we may not like the vessel that it comes through. We may not like, my husband sometimes will say it to me very harshly.
Your husband is right here.
I know you are. Yeah. And sometimes you speak to me very harshly and very sternly. And I think...
Do what I say, woman.
Well, I think you do that.
Not like that.
You think that if you don't speak to me sternly, I'm not going to listen. And it does the opposite.
Honey, do what I say.
You don't need to talk like that. I want you to say, honey, I don't think you should do that. I don't think it's a good idea.
Honey, I don't think you should go swimming in the deep end of the pool when it's lightning out there.
Well, you know what? I think it's okay because it's lightning's far away.
Okay. So,
but you get the point. How we as wives can reason weigh things when we really need to listen to our husbands. And sometimes I think many times our husbands don't even know why they're telling us not to do something. It's just, God is using that authority to protect us, and we need to submit to God by submitting to our husbands. And that's where we need to get. And my point that I was trying to make, Stuart, if you're listening, please, is that he's hurt, and men, this is what happens to men when they're not given the respect as husbands, and that they shut down. And then they're like, how it hurts them so much, because then they turn around and see the person that they love and trying to protect get hurt because they don't listen. And I think that's what happened with him. I think he's just, I may be wrong, but I believe that he shut down. He's like, I can't give you the love that you need as a woman because it hurts me to love you and then have you not listen to me and watch you get hurt.
Okay, well
that's hard for a man.
The moral of the story here is that.
But she doesn't listen. Let me finish though, because she doesn't listen because she's scared. We as women, we get scared. How can I listen to him? He could be wrong. I could get hurt if I listened to him. Or I listened to him and look what happened. I got hurt. Well, you don't know. You may have gotten hurt, but you don't know what hurt you really were kept from.
Okay. Listen. Okay. So let me finish the lesson here.
Okay.
All right. So if we're going to believe that we receive those things, and they will be done, but in my opinion, it should be reversed. I think it would say whenever you stand praying, and then get to the other part where Jesus says, "Believe that you receive it, and you shall have it if you believe in your heart." But it's extremely necessary for forgiveness
so if you speak it and you believe that you'll receive those things that you speak, but you don't have forgiveness in your heart, that could hinder you.
Without doubt.
Ah.
And it can also make you sick. Literally,
I think it can hinder.
Sick.
I believe it can also hinder you from being able to have faith in your heart.
Well,
how can you believe for things if you know that God's got something against you?
Okay. Well.
Because God's got something. If you don't forgive others, God does have something against you.
Okay.
That's a scary thought.
I think that you need to do something that I say you should do.
Oh, okay.
And I always pray, Lord, every day, Lord, forgive me my sins, past, present, future. Forgive that people that I have, offended, and forgive the
Yeah,
ones
but
that
I think you need to be more specific.
Huh?
I think we need to be specific.
What?
We can't just do a blanket thing. I mean,
well, okay.
We're already forgiven. As far as that goes.
For salvation, you are.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is beyond salvation. This is believing that you receive things. Say you need a new job in Manhattan, or we don't live in Manhattan, we live in Danville, Virginia, but say you need, you desire favor when you go out and go about your day. You desire favor with God and man. I bring up the election, because there was a lot of people that were mad on both sides. There was a lot of people that were mad that Trump won, and there were a lot of people that were mad that Hillary lost. That Hillary lost, and they wish Trump lost. But there were some certain Christian ministers out there that said, "Hey, don't vote for him. Don't vote for." There was one lady, I'm not going to mention her name, and she said when Trump said the comment about the kitty cat outside the bus or whatever. Most people understand what I'm talking about. You don't have to understand, but. And she said, "Well, I was on this minister lady said that I was on the receiving end of those kind of remarks, like, hey, baby, I love, let's go hang out, baby." She had I'm assuming, some sexual abuse or molestation or unwanted passes at her or whatever.
What woman hasn't?
Well, I'm a great looking guy, and I've never had women imply things. No, I'm kidding. But let me finish.
He looks better when he shaves, anyway. Go ahead.
Let me
go ahead.
Finish before I lose train of thought.
Okay.
So, but now this minister said, from what I understand, she said to her followers, "Don't vote for this guy." I've been on the other end of these, and she's a nice looking woman, this minister, and she says, don't vote for him. I've been on the other side of those kind of comments, and it's not right. However, obviously it's wrong, and it wasn't very classy of Donald J. Trump to say those things with Billy Bush outside the bus.
No, it was rude, crude, socially unacceptable, but it was acceptable because it was not in the presence of a female. What does this have to do with 11...
I'm going to get to it if you let me finish.
Okay,
Thank
go ahead.
you so much. You're very kind.
You're welcome.
But if the bottom line is she was walking in unforgiveness and bitterness and resentment towards Trump and towards some things in her past, yes.
True, but she also obviously has some hurt that has not been healed.
That's
because
what I just said.
No, well,
bitterness and resentment.
You don't necessarily have to have the bitterness and resentment, and you can still have the hurt. But if you can.
Okay.
We need to get, once you've been healed of the hurt, you have to let go of the bitterness and resentment.
She's a Christian minister, nationally known. She should be forgiven.
I know. Well, Stuart, the point is that as women who have been hurt by men, and men that have been hurt by women, or whatever, we need to get healed, and that healing power comes from God.
Yes,
we have to choose to forgive.
However,
and then we have to ask God to heal us and to just let go of the bitterness, let go of the resentment. That's hard to do when we haven't been healed yet.
He is the power,
of course,
behind the forgiving the resentment and the bitterness, and forgiving people that have did horrible things, molestation, rape, whatever, this, that, another thing. Now, you don't obviously want to go back and be around those people, but I think it's very important. So here's what Stuart
If
says.
you've truly been
Stuart
healed of the
says,
hurt and forgiven, you can
hey,
be around those
listen
people.
to what I say. You want things to go good in your life? Forget about it. People mess you up? Forget about it. People hurt you? Forget about it. Somebody stole some money from you? Forget about it. It doesn't. Let it go. Resentment and bitterness, they're gone. Let it go. Say, okay.
Make a choice.
Let it go.
Make a choice.
You can either hold on to it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can let it go. And the whole
How do you let it go, Stuart? What's the best way to let something go?
So if
What-
you're
how do-
holding
how do
on
you-
to something, it's really hard also to receive. So if you're holding on to this, it's awfully hard for me to put something in your hand to bless you with. How do you do what? How do you
Well, sometimes I feel like I can't. God says let
Forgive.
go, and I'm like, Lord, how do I let go? How do I let go?
how do you let go?
I
Well,
mean-
think about it this way.
I guess the question would be, why do we hold on?
Because it makes us feel stronger. It makes us feel like we're in
Fear,
control.
fear, lack of trust.
Well, it makes us feel like we're in control.
Well,
That's what
I
I
didn't
think.
ask you
That's
why
just
we
my
hold
opinion.
on, why we have trouble letting go is my question. Why do we?
Because we are feeling that, I've got dignity, or I'm somebody. Why would they, who do they think I am, doing that to me?
Okay, so
Well,
that's why
I'm a
you
person
that's
of
why you
character.
hold on. You know why I hold on? Why I don't let go? I fear getting hurt.
Well, we all get hurt, but best thing about hurt, if you let it go and you forget about it and say, Lord, forgive me, I'm holding a grudge against somebody, or resentment and bitterness. You know what? You died on the cross for me. I can let go of them too. I had somebody I owed $600 in New York, and this is the end of the video after I tell this little story.
Okay.
I had it, and in fact, his name was Stuart. And this guy, Stuart, had lent me $600. I don't remember what it was for. It was for something. And I had lost my job after that or something, so I couldn't pay him back. And I saw him in church when we were attending Times Square Church. I remember, and I said, man, I don't got your money. And a couple of times I said, let me just see what happens. And, like a month went by, I didn't have his $600. And then I remember he came up and he said, Stuart, don't worry about it. Jesus forgave me all my debt. I forgive you your debt. Don't worry about it. And he never mentioned it again, and it was like it never happened. But he understood, like the Roman centurion when he says, Jesus, you just say the word, and my servant will be healed. Well, this guy, Stuart, understood that if he just said, Stuart, I forgive you of the $600 debt. Jesus forgave
Well,
me.
you
I forgive
understand,
you.
God says loan
That's
like
the end of it.
loan like a giving, because when you give, as you give, you shall receive.
Okay.
And then it became a seed. So you know what? That seed he probably got blessed because he gave it.
Now you need to receive the end of the video, because the video's too long. I think, so far.
All right, well, go ahead and end it.
We're going to do it anyway. So, guys, remember, here we go. I'm going to read it one more time. And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive you your trespasses. So if you want things to go good in your life, forgive, forget about it.
Forget about it. All right.
Bye.
Bye.